and welcome back to the Football Rundown. Today we're here with the transfer talk around Stockport County. Of course, it is the night before the game against Brackley Town in the FA Cup. And obviously we did do the match preview yesterday. If you haven't seen it, do go check it out on the channel. And it's a little bit of a weird one. We don't usually talk and do a video on a Friday night, but I feel like there's a good reason to. We're going to talk about Louie Barry. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen what's come out tonight. Obviously some disappointing news. We did talk about the young Icelandic striker, which we were linked to. We spoke about that yesterday in the match preview, and I think I said in that video that we can only be looking at options like that if we're anticipating movement in regards to Louie Barry, and obviously from what I've read today, that certainly seems to be the case. So what is this all about then? Well, this has come out from someone on Twitter. He's a journalist. He covers most of the Midlands area. It looks like Aston Villa, Wolves, Birmingham, West Brom, those kind of teams. So it looks like he's very much covering that kind of side of those clubs basically. So it comes from a decent source in terms of Aston Villa's side. It looks like to me, Charlie Haffenden, and he's saying that it's an exclusive story. Aston Villa plan to recall Louie Barry from Stockport in January and loan him to the Championship instead. The winger has scored 13 goals in 17 League One games so far this season. Told Middlesbrough are keen. So that's basically where we're at there. The idea on Aston Villa's part is what he's suggesting is that they'll recall him from Stockport in January, which we have spoke about before, and I said, well, I can't see the logic in him being recalled by Aston Villa in January, unsettling a player which is in a comfortable environment to go and put him in the Championship where he might not he might not be up to speed. So I didn't think that he was going to move this season, to be honest. I thought he would stay for the remainder of the season. I thought that Stockport County would be able to enjoy, watching him throughout the season. As I say, I think that he'd be able to do a lot of good things in the county shirt till from now on until the end of the season. But it seems like that isn't going to be the case. If there's anything to this, it's saying that Aston Villa plan to recall him, and let's face it, he's Aston Villa's player, so there's nothing that can stop Aston Villa from recalling him if that's what they plan on doing. Obviously, Louie Barry could make an argument to say, no, I want to stay, but how likely is it that would happen? Because as much as he's loved playing for Stockport County, the opportunity to play in the Championship and potentially for a team like Middlesbrough, that's a big opportunity for him. As a young player, which is still looking to try and make it happen for him at Aston Villa. So I don't see it happening. As I say, I do think that if Aston Villa want to recall him in January, that absolutely will happen. Louie Barry will then go out on loan to a Championship team, and Stockport County will be left in the lurch a little bit because he's been a brilliant player for us. It's about how we find a way to replace him, and I think maybe that's why we saw things like the talk of Benoni Brecky, Andresen yesterday, all throughout earlier this week, with the Icelandic striker potentially making a move to Stockport County in January. Maybe that is going to happen because they already know that Louie Barry is going to be gone in January. Who knows? But whatever happens, whether or not Louie Barry is recalled in January, whether or not we do have him to the end of the season, it's 100% clear that County do need to start looking, sort of life beyond Louie Barry for Stockport County, because he is going to go, whether it's in January, whether or not it's in 6 months at the end of the season. We need to find out who's going to be that sort of main provider of goals for us, because he has been that this season. I always raised concerns in the summer when Paddy Madden left. I said, who's going to be the man to step up and get those goals? And it has been Louie Barry who has, stepped up and got those goals. That's why we're going to have to find someone that can replace those goals, because Cal Wootton is not at that level. He doesn't have age on his side either, which Louie Barry did. So he's not a young, exciting player that can score goals. Cal Wootton can do a job, but he's not going to be the main goal scorer. Tantor Alafi hasn't started the season as he would like to have done. I also don't think, as good as Tantor Alafi was last season, as good as I think he can be, I don't think he can reach the level that Louie Barry can as a player. I think that Louie Barry, if things go right for him, he could reach the very top. So it's going to be hard to find a replacement for him. There's no doubt about that. I do think that anyone who comes in, it will be an undoubted step down in quality, and I think that'll actually be really difficult for the incoming striker, because he'll know that he's got big shoes to fill, and it's going to be hard to live up to the ability of Louie Barry. So it's disappointing one if he does go. As I say, reading this, it does look like he's gone. Obviously, Sam Burns had a little bit to say on it as well, obviously from the Stockport County side of things. He said headlines are always going to catch the eye and nothing would be a shock. But even the reports today about a recall say there's no actual decision at the moment. The reports last year of a January recall, and things can clearly change. So again, nothing is decided until the time comes. And I see what he's saying. He is right. Nothing is 100% decided yet. And even in that article, that little bit of it, the journalist put out earlier today, it doesn't say that it's guaranteed he's going to be recalled. It's saying that Aston Villa plan to recall him. But I think that Sam Burnley's being slightly on the optimistic side, if I'm being honest, because anything can happen. The only way that if Aston Villa want to recall Louie Barry in January, the only thing that's going to stop them from doing that is if he picks up an injury like he did last season. For all we know, and we'll never know now, but when Louie Barry started last season in fantastic form, had he not got injured against Crew away, he could have easily been recalled in January that season. We don't know what Aston Villa's intentions were, but there were talks of it going into that window, and obviously it didn't happen because of the injury, and they knew he was going to be out most of the season anyway, and Aston Villa were already involved in helping him recover from injury, so there wasn't much point in doing so. But we don't know. They could have done that last season. So, it's an interesting one. Do I think he'll go? As I say, if there's anything to this, and it's come from what I imagine would be a good source, because if he's got information close to Aston Villa, this journalist, which I suppose he would do, covering those clubs, it sounds like he's going to go, doesn't it? So if he does go, we've got to act quick, and we've got to make sure that we know who we want to bring in, and more importantly, we need to get him in the building quick in January, because what we can't have happen is Louie Barry go on the 1st of January, but funnily enough against Birmingham on New Year's Day. I'd imagine he'd be able to play that game, but you never know. What we can't have is him go within the first week of January, and then it take us 3 or 4 weeks till near the end of the window before a replacement comes in, because we're going to drop points. We're going to struggle without that replacement. So we need to almost know what's going to happen. If he's going to be recalled in January, County have to know, and they've got to make sure that they've got their replacement lined up and ready to come in almost immediately. If he doesn't really be recalled and he stays for to the end of the season, which I'm hoping does happen, then obviously it gives us 6 months to know what the outcome will be, and 6 months to prepare for replacing him. Like I've said before, I genuinely think if we keep him, throughout the rest of the season, I think he could take us to being promoted to the Championship, just because of the form he's in, the goals he's getting, the types of goals he's getting. I don't see many defences being able to stop him. But obviously, if he does go, that's a massive stumbling block for Stockport County. And like I say, I think that Louie Barry is the difference between County being able to be promoted by the end of the season or being a mid-table team by the end of the season. That's how key of a player he is for us, and he would be a huge, huge loss if he was to be moved on in January. So I just thought I would talk about it, get people's thoughts on it. Obviously, it's not good news for Stockport County, but it's news that we have to deal with and come to terms with very quickly if he is going to go, because it means we've got just over a month to have him at the football club. And one thing that I do like is, and Sam Byrne did touch on this a couple of days ago, I think it was at the beginning of the week, saying naturally endless speculation between now and January, but until the time comes, nothing's decided, nobody knows what will happen. Until then, it's got to be about enjoying watching Louie Barry for County and hoping it continues for the rest of the season. I think he's spot on with that. It is about enjoying Louie Barry for either for the next month or for the rest of the season, because he's an incredible player to watch, and I think we've been very, very lucky to have had him at County. And irrespective of what happens, whether or not he goes now or he goes in 6 months, we all know that we've played a huge, huge part of the development of a player, which hopefully goes on to have a very strong career at the top, which I'm sure he can do. But like I said, I think it would be very difficult for him to turn down an opportunity to go to a team like Middlesbrough in the Championship as well. So if he does go in January, good luck to him. But obviously we'll be disappointed. But hopefully he does stay to the end of the season. So let's wait and see what happens on that front. I'm sure we'll hear more between now and January on that front. So yeah, just a quick one. Want to get people's thoughts on it. Louie Barry, is he going to go in January? Is he going to be given till the end of the season at Stockport County and then moved on? Want to get your thoughts in the comment section below as well. And also, do you think that it would be a good move for him to go to Middlesbrough? Do you think he'd have any trouble settling into a team which is probably doing fairly well in the Championship at this point in time? Is he going to struggle adapting? I don't think so, because he adapted to League, took to League One like he did, like a duck to water. So I don't see that being a problem. But I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think he'll be able to adapt to the Championship as quickly as he adapted to League One from League Two? Do you think it's the right move for him, and how disappointed would you be to see him moved on? And also, who do you think we should be looking at to replace him in January should be moved on. Of course, we were linked to that Icelandic striker just this week. So yeah, get your thoughts in. Obviously, Brackley coming up tomorrow as well. Match vlog will be out shortly after the game as well. So yeah, like the video, get your thoughts in, subscribe if you're new as well. And yeah, thanks for watching.